speaking of dog, it's time to talk about my other dog, SNOOPDO double jizzle. My dog Snoop Dogg has a bid to buy a hockey team. Yes, the Ottawa Senators. Yes, Snoop Dogg was on the podcast, Stephen A. Smith's podcast, and he talked about his love for the sport of hockey. Said he's been watching it for 25 years, and Snoop is older than me, so somewhere around his 30s, late 20s, I don't know what he was doing. He was just smoking with Suge one day. He was like, hey, change the channel, though. Put on the ice skates and all that. Let's see the dudes on the screen. Like, well, I don't know. When did you switch at 30 to like hockey? But according to Snoop, he did. And he said his biggest motivation, I think it's pretty obvious, but it's still heartfelt. He says he wants to bring hockey to his community. Oh, man, that's interesting because everybody wants to talk about DEI, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion. But this may be a situation where DEI goes wrong because everybody doesn't want everything. And I'm thinking through this like hockey. I like when I go to a hockey game. I think everyone does because there's a great energy in there. First, you walk into the arena, the temperature hits you, it's cooler. You like that. And then the cats are just going, and they are rough. Like they tearing that damn glass, that plexiglass up, bap, bap, bap. You're like, oh, this is dope. This is like fast moving football out here. But I think the best thing about being at a hockey game is the fact that you can actually follow the puck. Like you on TV, man, that puck is lost. They tried all kind of things. They tried to make it neon. They tried to highlight it. They tried to give it a tail, a laser tail. And I was like, dog, it's not working. But when you're there live, you got a better sense of it. You can see it all, feel it all, and be in those elements. I get that. So Snoop wants to own this team, and then ownership as a part of it wants to build a Snoop Youth Hockey League outside of Canada so kids in the urban communities can have access to it and learn about the sport as well. All these things obviously are very important. He just wants people to know that they can play hockey even if they look like Snoop Dogg or if they're from a poor neighborhood or they don't have the access. And that's what's interesting about it because if you look at it, the issues with hockey, when you talk about the neighborhood, and be careful, guys, never make the hood synonymous with race or color. Because I think people do that sometimes. They say black and then they say hood. And it's not the same thing. Because where I grew up, it used to be all black. Because before that, it was all white. And guess what it is now? All Latino. So never go to that extent of trying to link it to a certain group, even though there may be a majority rule there. But the issues with hockey culturally is frankly the access, the cost. As much as they say $2,500 a year to get your little kid into hockey. Or also the numbers. Think about this. So the first thing is the access. Where's the hockey rink by us? Out here in Los Angeles, in proper LA, there's one in Culver City. There's one in downtown LA only for Christmas time as they do ice skating around there. And then I think there's one in Manhattan Beach. But the point is so spread out, so the access is difficult. The cost, $2,500 versus signing your son up for the football league or the basketball league, what's that, $60, $100? Hockey's gonna have to figure out a way to either invoke some scholarships or bring those costs down. And then the numbers. So I like hockey, right? Marcellus, I like hockey. Does Tim like hockey? Does Tim like hockey? Okay, does Jonathan like hockey? Okay, we got 2.5 guys right now because Tim is on the fence. You got to get the numbers to even get the team together to get the league going with the access that may be distant. But props to Snoop Dogg. Props to him to trying to close that gap, close that divide between where he thinks his people are in the community with hockey and where hockey really is. Hopefully this ownership bid goes through, and you imagine Snoop over there puffing one as he's owning a hockey team. That'll be fresh.